Welcome to a brand new episode of the post game. I'm your host, Davion, and I'm joined by Ollie
Yo.
and Elijah.
Yep.
And today we are back with some Premier League match week 6. Is it 6? I think. Um, it was a very unpredictable week when it comes to like football and yeah, it's been a good one for me. How y'all doing today? Before we get started.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Not gonna complain, but all right.
Good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm in a new setting. I am out of town right now, so that's why everything looks a little bit different in the background. But yeah, we're gonna start off by talking about the first game of the week, which was Everton and Liverpool, the Merseyside derby. How did y'all get take on this game?
I mean, even when, some of these teams that are top teams, even when they're not performing well, whenever they have to play a top team, generally find a way to step up and at least challenge. So this is a slightly surprising result, but I mean, it doesn't take me too much by surprise. But Liverpool still has to get this win, but it's a good game.
Yeah. Elijah?
I agree with what Ollie said. You know, rival games like this is always going to be tough and hard for the both teams to win. So, it was a hard fought game for both sides. Liverpool tried their hardest. Everton tried their hardest from conceding a goal from Liverpool. So, can't be disappointed on both teams. Everton's still trying to fight and stay in the Premier League and not, get regulated. And Liverpool's still trying to find that form and, still trying to get back to being that Liverpool how they was. So, nothing too much to say about that game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said, Elijah. Like, this is the Merseyside derby. Like, this is one of the biggest derbies, in the Premier League. And so these two teams are gonna, no matter if one's in first place and the other's in last place, they are literally gonna fight to the end because they just don't like each other that much. I mean, Liverpool had 23 shots, 8 on target. Everton had 14 shots, 3 on target. Like, this was a very Liverpool dominated game, but we were 61% possessions, but they just couldn't get over that line. And Everton, they just held their on. They didn't allow Liverpool to beat them, and so they stole a point off Liverpool. I mean, Elijah, like you just said, I mean, Liverpool are still trying to find their feet and their form for this season because they just haven't yet. They haven't really showed us the Liverpool from last season. And granted, that might be for injuries or whatever the case may be, but yeah, man. I'm excited to see where Liverpool starts whenever they do start to figure it out. I'm just ready for that, and I don't know if it's now or later. But next up we have Tottenham versus Fulham. So I think Spurs scored in the last and pretty late. Oh no, they scored. They had two. I mean, this game was interesting. I mean, Fulham only had 9 shots on target. I mean, 9 shots, and Spurs had 23 shots. Like, definitely had their chances, and they took them, I guess, to win this game against Fulham. What y'all think about this game?
The possession was pretty even. I mean, Fulham have looked pretty decent this year. They haven't looked too bad. So not too surprised at this result either with how Spurs have started out this season. They are in third, but based on how they looked last year, they look pretty good comparatively, but I just, we'll see. To only win this one 2-1. Yes, Fulham got one really, really late, 83rd. But it's scary. So you gotta get these wins. It's good for them to have gotten this win, but that possession was really close for this game. The shots, as you said, the shots weren't, but
yeah. I mean, I think this is one of those games where you wish Fulham could steal a point off Tottenham. And I mean they've not dominated, but they have definitely played Premier League football. Fulham has over the past, and I mean, and granted, and Spurs has, they played Premier League football since they got into the Prem this season. And so, I mean, I think this is a hard one for Fulham to lose, but I think this just comes with the newly adjusting to the Premier League, you know. Next up we have Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. Um, 3-2 win for Bournemouth, man. I mean, after it was a late
And
winner.
they was gonna get their win.
Yeah.
I said it was gonna get their first win. So they got it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like I think Forest just really they aren't getting it. They're not clicking right now at all. They're not clicking. They went in, they bought like I think it was like 16 to 20 brand new players in this window. It's like that's like unheard of. Like I understand you just got, promoted, but you need to stick with the core team that you have while adding on a couple players like we've seen Leeds do since they got promoted to the Prem last season. Um, Bournemouth, though, I mean, after they sacked their manager, they had a draw last week against a better club, a harder club, to like a top 10 club, I think it was. And then this week to get a win off Nottingham Forest. I mean, was it the manager's problem? Granted, they did play 3 of the top 6 in those first 3 weeks, so there's not much to say there. But Ollie, what's your take on Bournemouth right now?
I think they're just struggling. They were just struggling to get their footing, and it's hard to start a season after being away from soccer. Well, obviously they still play a lot of soccer throughout the off season, but not at this caliber and degree. So, getting back into it, and then as you said, to start out with, 4 of the first 5 games were against top clubs last year, and so far pretty top clubs this year. So it's just it was a really tough start for that coach. I don't know. I personally wouldn't be able to judge a manager off of their results on those games.
Yeah, no.
But they thought it was time. As you said with Nottingham Forest too, it just not quite getting it yet. Whenever you do bring in that many players, it's as if you have a brand new team. Like you are now a expansion team essentially. No one knows who you are. You don't know who you are. So it's generally not the way to go. Yes, you're getting quote quote better players, but I mean, these people don't know each other, and you're going into a league of players who have played with each other for the most part. Obviously, new 1 or 2 new additions, as you said, but to have a whole roster revamp is insane. So we will see, but I don't know. I feel like the main problem right now is with their back line. It's not solid enough. They get lazy, especially late in games. I see a lot of their mistakes late in games for sure. They just step into the ball, just not as aggressive. So that's generally when they start to fall away and lose games. But if they can figure that out, I mean, they're able to score. Getting 2 goals a game in Prem is not bad. So we'll see what they can do going forward.
I mean, especially like looking at the stats, like they had this game pretty much like tied. Like it was a pretty even game. They had Nottingham Forest had 11 shots, 3 on target. Bournemouth had 8 shots with 3 on target. Like this game was, excuse me, as close as you think it was. Like literally, this game was, and they just got, like you said, they got lazy towards the end, and it lost them all 3 of those points. I mean, that 1 point that they were going to steal off of them, but. Next game we got to talk about is Chelsea versus West Ham. So I'm out of town and I watched a little bit, I would say a little bit of the first half. And I was texting a Chelsea friend of mine and he asked me a question. He asked me, what do I think like about this first half? And I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna read it out. And so I said, in the first half, Chelsea, this is me from Chelsea. We don't have any complete control. We don't even have an idea of a plan in front of goal. Our corners are the worst that I have seen from any Premier League team this season. Plain and simple. Granted, we scored 2 goals off the corners, like kind of combined this season, but like they are so bad. West Ham, they completely were just dropping back. Anytime Chelsea attacked the ball, they were 5 behind the ball, and it was just hard thing to break down. And like we didn't have any shape. And honestly, like I said, if we found control or like a will to want to play more in the second half, we would have scored and win. There was a controversial penalty that was called. No, foul that was called after a goal towards the end of the game. I think it was like the 90 something minute. And a lot of West Ham fans are upset because what happened was there was a bad ball from Reece James into Mendy, and then Mendy was obviously in no man's land, and he like went in for the ball, and then I think it was David Boeing or whatever his name is, like dragged his leg into Mendy, and he caused a foul. That's what some people are saying. And so I think going off this game, like I think it was a foul. He left his leg in towards the end, and it definitely was a foul. Happy to see Chelsea steal 3 points. Um, but I think we need to be better in front of goal because we shouldn't score. Granted, it was a disallowed goal, but we shouldn't have to score to win the game and then they score instantly. Like that's just poor. That's just not good for us. But yeah, that's my take on Chelsea today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see going forward. It's definitely good for them to get a win. Y'all definitely needed a win there. But hey, I mean, the table's starting to shape out how it's supposed to, looking at it. Chelsea back in the sixth, so
Yep.
and their current how they're looking, I think right around there, maybe a little higher. I do think that they'll creep into maybe the top four, probably in the coming weeks. So that's my personal take.
I mean, Elijah.
Yeah, pretty much agree with everything you said. I did watch that. Well, I watched a little bit of the game, and like that was poor from y'all. And like I was saying in the chat earlier, before that goal happened, when I was like, yeah, y'all probably need to start Ben Chilwell more, because to me, I feel like he brings out y'all midfield even better, and like, he's good with the attacking and his pace and pushing forward with y'all. But just getting back on defense was just the struggle for y'all. And like, y'all almost, like West Ham almost stole a point from y'all.
Yeah.
If that goal wasn't disallowed. If it wasn't that foul on me, that would have been just the most disappointing like point stolen ever, because it was just like y'all worked hard and y'all fought hard to get that 2-1 just to not keep it and blow it at the end. So, maybe, hopefully I can get better with y'all on that, and I could probably be the Chelsea that y'all used to be. But till then, still some more work to do.
And what's very interesting about that is like that comment that we should start Ben Chilwell. Ben, before he tore his ACL last year, was one of the best left backs in the Premier League. Plain and simple. He had like 5 or 6 goal contributions before he went down, and he was definitely our starting left back. But when I say that, I think him coming on the other day like sparked something. Like he came on and there was like a flare. When he came on, when Mason Mount came on, and when Kai Havertz came on, they changed the game drastically. And I think I was texting a friend of mine. I was like, honestly, like last week, whenever we lost, I was like, we should not start Mason Mount or Kai Havertz because they've played all of the minutes for the past like 6 games, and they have contributed nothing. But then you saw it, they started on the bench this week, and they put this thing in their back, like, hey, we need to probably actually start playing for real now. And they did, and it showed, because like the little bit I watched the second half, I literally just watched like probably a combined 10 minutes because I was just out. But the little bit that I watched, like you just saw that they wanted to play more, and Kai scored the winning goal. So it's like, I'm not mad about them coming off the bench if they're going to come and play like that. So I think whatever Thomas Tuchel's idea is, or whatever his plan is, I think we should go do it. But yeah, it was a definitely upset. Glad we still 3 points off West Ham. Excuse me. While they're still in that drought anyway. Next up, Brentford and Leeds. This was a game and a half right here. Leeds got beat at their own game, pretty much. The counterattack, the pressing, that's what Brentford did to Leeds, and they swarmed them the entire game. Leeds manager got a red card actually, just because there was a couple calls that were not going his way, and of course he's gonna get upset and irate about it, and now he's gonna get suspended next week. But what I love so much is the fact that Brentford, they're such a dominant team on the counter. They're so good. Like I love watching Brentford's games and Leeds games, to be honest. Um, it's just good to watch some like pressing soccer all day long, which is my favorite to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Same for here. I didn't watch all of the game because I was watching y'all's and Real Madrid because Real Madrid played around the same time y'all did. But I did watch I think it was the second half or first half, one of those two when it was 2-2.
Yeah.
It was 2-2, and I was like, okay, this is a good game. And soon as I turned it off, it was like 3-2. So I'm like, oh shoot, Bournemouth just scored. Okay, like this game getting good. And then as I was finishing watching y'all game and I looked and I saw that it was 5-2, I was like, whoa, what did Leeds just do? Or what happened on them just falling apart that second half? What just made them just let Brentford score 3 goals on them?
I mean, Ivan Toney is a stud.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since match week 1. He is so good, and watching him play shows nothing but utter domination. Like it shows that how the heart, the passion, because they'll press all game long. And honestly, this game was such a good back and forth game. And Leeds held more of the possession. They just couldn't break down Brentford at all, and Brentford capitalized on it and stole five goals behind Leeds.
Wait, I'm so confused. Was there a red card? Because I see a red card symbol, but it's not saying it.
The manager got sent off.
Oh, manager. Okay, I was like, why is there a red card but no red card? Yeah, I was confused. Well, with that being said, obviously I didn't get to watch that game. But prior to that, literally right before that, it was 2-2. It looks like. Wow, then it just 3 more goals scored after that. So
and they scored Ivan Toney scored a free kick towards the end ish, and then one of their guys scored a free kick as well in the 90th and pretty much put him away for real then. But yeah, Wolves versus Southampton. Southampton won 1. No, Wolves won 1-0. Wolves are so inconsistent to me. On one hand, they're gonna get beat every week. On one hand, you're gonna draw to Newcastle, you draw to Brentford. That's who Brentford tied to. Not Brentford, Bournemouth. And it's like, when are they? I mean, they're not getting blown out by any regards, but they're definitely holding their own against some of these top teams. They played Spurs and got lost by 1-0, but now they beat Southampton, who beat Chelsea last week pretty badly. But yeah. What's y'all's take on this Wolves Southampton game?
You can go.
Just pull on Southampton.
Yeah.
Let Wolves beat them. Southampton was, they was supposed to be the team to come out to be the best team, the better team, due to them beating y'all as well. And putting up tough matches against other tough teams that they played against, like United and stuff. So, it was kind of a disappointment, but I guess this is Wolves' game to show that, that they're going to come back and they are not leaving. So that's pretty much what I can say for that game.
Yeah. I mean, and you make a valid point. This game was pretty even. Southampton had 12 shots, just 1 on target. That's not efficient at all. So that has to be better. And this is really just an even game for both of these teams, but none of them couldn't boost themselves over the other one. And so we saw this happen. And I don't know. These two teams are one of these are the 7 to 12 teams. These are in the league. Those are the ones that you just be scared of because they can beat you on any given week. And Southampton showed last week that they can beat anybody on any given week. And Wolves are definitely a team that you should be afraid of. But I think if they can start being more consistent and getting more goals, because they're lacking goals right now at this point. And so if they can get more goals, then that'll definitely put them at more wins. Next up, Newcastle and Crystal Palace. This was a 0-0 tie or draw. Top me to this game, y'all. This is one of the ones that are like you don't really want to watch because there was there was 23 shots from Newcastle,
19.
and 19 for Crystal Palace, and there wasn't a single goal.
A lot on target too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for having 19 shots, having 9 on target's not bad, but no goals at all. So that's wow. I mean, these goalies came out to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was definitely on. It was that game to see who was going to be that team to concede a goal or which goalie was going to, help their team out. So I guess both goalies played great that game and was just making saves on not letting their team lose or be that team to concede a goal. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it showed. I mean, I guess it showed the strength of the defense and it showed the strength of both of these keepers. I mean, it's always good whenever you can get a very entertaining game with lots of shots, but to not have any goals, that sucks. That just sucks for both of these teams, man. You like with a stat line that like that, and I'm like, okay, you should guess how many goals were scored. Like, so you would say at least one, right?
I'd say
yeah.
5.
I'm saying right.
9 on target and 6 on target.
Nah, that type of game, yeah, probably more goals. But being realistically, like Crystal Palace and Newcastle playing, I was expecting at least that 1 goal or 2 goals, like 3 goals in total. But like it was going to be like a 1-1 and somebody get that last minute goal to win it.
But
so
there were 15 shots on target. I would expect for teams like this, these two teams. I mean, I don't really think. I mean, I'm no disrespect towards Pope, definitely none to Gutierrez, but it's like, I mean, I would expect about 4 or 5 goals with 15 shots on target.
Exactly. And for them to, I was about to say, for them to not give us that, so shameful. But
so shameful. Give us a goal.
Honestly, like you got to blame your attackers, man. You got to get with that many shots. You can't get one of y'all to bend it to the top right corner. Granted, we're sitting here hundreds of thousands of miles away, just running out miles. So you got it.
Never played even collegiate, so
Yeah, no. Best I could do is coach. To be honest, that's all I got. I can't play. Yeah. Next up,
me.
Huh?
The referee for me. That's the only thing I did.
See, I could never ref. I just could never do that. I did it for literally 1 game and I was over it. But next up, Aston Villa versus Manchester City, a 1-1 draw.
City. Let's talk to City about that.
Let's let them have it.
What was the deal on that?
They run his mouth on my team.
4 shots only on target. So, like, for y'all to be the best City team, the best team in Premier League against Aston Villa, granted, Aston Villa is a pretty decent team, but they haven't been performing pretty well. So, for y'all to only get 4 shots on the goal and y'all have that type of lineup, explain to me, like, what was the deal?
Let me start out by saying we are the better
Manchester
team.
Are, like, so explain to me.
We can cut that right now. And again, this is an example of any given week, it can happen. Honestly, Aston Villa played pretty good when it came to the final third. We just could not get great looks until the second half. In the second half, Aston Villa did break them down. We had a lot of chances, and I don't understand how none of them went in. Like, we had Kevin De Bruyne getting a pass from Erling Haaland right in front of the net, and he shoots it wide. We had Mahrez on the wing in the perfect spot that he wants to be, and he shoots it wide. Doesn't even get close to net. Like, it's just. Then we had a long shot from what's his name? The CDM that we have right now who played Rodri. Rodri had a shot from the edge of the 18. You gotta hit the net. None of them hit the net. All 3 of those players are world-class players and missed the net completely on their shot. So it was just poor play. I mean, the goal they scored was on a counterattack. It was a beautiful attack from them down the side and then cross to the middle. Cancelo was just too slow to it. He did not react at all. When the shot came off, Cancelo's like 2-3 steps away from him. That is your man. Why are you that far from him? And Rodri was trying to help on the wing with whoever got the assist on that, who got the assist? Ramsey. You cannot lay that far off of the ball. I don't know, just lazy defense. It's just lazy defense. I don't know.
What formation are y'all running right now?
4-3-3.
Mm. Is
And
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
even
Walker
blame
still
it on the
going?
lazy defense because I'm gonna let you finish, Davion, but I just want to say something on Ollie said. I would blame it on the lazy defense, but I wouldn't fully blame it on lazy defense because in all honesty, like y'all kind of stopped Aston Villa from even pushing into y'all box because Aston Villa only had one shot when y'all going. That one shot was the goal
And 3
to
shots,
tie it up.
period. 3 shots,
And
period.
3 shots in total. That's means
Because we're
y'all was
Man
actually
City.
doing pretty good on defense.
No, that
So,
means we're doing good with possession. That doesn't mean we're doing good.
y'all
on
doing good with
defense.
possession,
Oh,
but
We had
just to allow one
72%.
goal.
Listen, though, we had 72% possession. That has nothing to do with our defense, other than the passing. Obviously, when you keep possession like that, a lot of passing plays around the back, but like our defense did not have to do much. With that being shown, 3 shots. That means three times the ball came off of the foot towards the goal, right? So what did our defense have to do? And when they had to do something, the one time we really needed them, they messed it up. And I'm not blaming it all on them because with 13 shots, we need to score more goals. And against Aston Villa, we need to score more goals. But when you have the lead against a team like Aston Villa, I expect our defense to give a better effort than what was given on that goal. I had already put blame on 3 of our good shots, did I not? So I'm not saying this is the defense's fault, but I'm saying the defense should not have allowed that good of a shot to get let off the foot with no challenge. Is that false?
So
Okay.
So
I
hearing
agree
that,
because
I'm
you-
definitely.
I
because y'all was-
never
if
said
y'all
it was
had
the
the
defense's
ball,
fault.
y'all had the ball all that time, and like you said, the defenders wasn't really pretty much playing. So
But this is
for
how
y'all to
every
slack
game
on
is.
that
I
one
was saying,
goal,
and I
though,
think this
it's crazy.
this dates back to Steven Gerrard talking to his team, getting them awake for this team. Hey, we're not going to have the ball at all. Compared to
At all.
City, we're not going to have the ball, but we need to be clinical in front of goal when we get our chances. And they got 3 chances, and they did their job. It's one of those things where you could just bend but don't break. Y'all had
and
13 shots.
on top of that,
And that was the team that break.
Whatever. Even on top of that, it's just like I talk a lot about our defense, and it is on the counterattack that we are the weakest because of how Pep gives our players so much freedom, which is not a bad thing to an extent. I still will never agree with having our left and right back playing center defensive mid while Rodri goes up. I don't agree with that, but we know we can have possession and we know we can keep possession, so when the ball is getting headed around 3-4 times, that's when we break down. That is when Man City breaks down. When the ball gets headed on our end in midfield, like 3-4 times, the ball bounces around, it finally settles to one of their players. He has so much time to look up. Every single time that happens, they get a good shot. Sometimes Ederson's able to save it, but I don't know if y'all saw the shot that came off of that guy's foot. It was a rocket. There was no way Ederson was going to save that. So, no, again, I will say this again. I did not put full blame on the defense. I'm going to put a lot of blame on offense because we should have more than one goal, especially with the shots we had. But our defense should make a better effort than that when you've only been called on this once or twice, okay? You should be prepared. You know how we play. This is every game. Look back at our possession stats. We play possession and build up. So this is going to happen. They know this. They got to be ready when it's their time. All right. Okay. And they just were not. And that was in the 74th minute.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of chances after that. Obviously, Pep's mad. They all mad, but it's just none of them came off well. Great goal by Erling Haaland. I do have to say that it was a great cross by KDB. Oh my, it was beautiful, right over the goalie's head.
Listen, you got 2 of the greatest, not greatest of all time, but 2 of the greatest players right now in the Premier League, and Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne. Like you can take both of those players, separate them, and put them on teams by themselves, and they make the teams drastically better. And now they're on the same team. It's sickening. It's nuts.
Yeah, and I feel like with our lineup too, it's like, I've already spoken on Stones and Diaz. I don't have anything against either of them, but I would like a little more quality back there. I like Diaz. I don't know, and I like Stones because he's bigger and taller, so he can get those headers. I just don't know the way we play. I feel like we need a faster center back.
The guy who you just signed will be that.
And yeah, but you got to give him time.
Yeah.
But just like with this is the last thing, but like with who was it? Oh yeah, when Mahrez did come on, Jesus, I don't know, man. To be a top scorer, the past few years, and he's just so far just hasn't looked informed yet. So, I mean, if he keeps playing like that, Alvarez is going to take his spot because every time Alvarez touches the pitch, he looks great. So we'll see how it goes going forward. But next week we will be playing angry. We'll get to that though.
Okay, sounds better. Sounds better because first it sounded like you was fully blaming the defense.
They should not have let that easy of a shot off. I did.
No. Yeah, play it simple. But moving on.
Oh, this game here.
Brighton versus Leicester City. So did y'all?
He's gone. Leicester coach is gone.
Whoa. Did y'all see the disallowed goal?
Huh?
So there was McAllister.
Oh yeah. I did see that goal with the it was
corner?
potential offsides because
yeah,
I guess the dude tried to do the bicycle kick.
Listen,
but
that's one of the
goal he scored.
He's just.
But he still got to go at the end. But it was just
that free kick?
That goal there was nice.
So
that
Brighton, if you don't know the score, Brighton won 5-2 against Leicester. Talk to me about this, E. You were hitting on it a second ago.
Leicester got to go. Leicester coach got to go.
I
don't know what it is. Fired? He's definitely getting fired. I don't know when it's going to be, but if like we said previously, if Leicester keeping this up, because now they just losing games. They're not even drawing or winning. They losing. And this is 5 in a row. And I haven't seen Leicester lose 5 games in a row till this year. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's the problem. They scored in the first minute. Like, they were looking hot, and it just went downhill. Like, I don't know what's their problem. So
on top of that, Brighton has looked pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Brighton's been looking good, but I don't know what it is with Leicester.
So I was watching this video on Graham Potter, who was a manager for Brighton, and his story over the past 10 years has been incredible. I think he started off, I'm gonna butcher this so badly, but he started off in a second division or a fourth division of this Swiss league, and then he got his team up to the first division, and then they won and stuff. And then he moved to Brighton and had just been incredible at Brighton. And so he has gotten that team to right now top 4 in the Premier League, and he has just been arguably perfect. And it's good to see that Brighton and this team is they're behind him as well, because they went down in the first minute. What team goes down the first minute and bounces back and scores 5 goals on the day? There's not many to name at all. But watching him go up, watching them tackle on 5 against Leicester City. Granted, they've been in a slump recently, but it was 2-2 in the 33rd for 60 minutes of the game. And then the goals came. Then they all came. And so and Brighton, granted, they were definitely
clicking.
They had 23 shots on target. They had 23 shots with 11 on target. So this is gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Not too much to say. I said what I said. Ollie?
No. Leicester's got to get it together. It is, I don't know. They haven't had it as unfortunate as a schedule. Who have they played even? Let's see. Last 5 games. Arsenal, tough one. Southampton, not as tough. Chelsea, okay. It was only 2-1, so that's not that bad. Man United, see, and this was the first game that was really bad for them. But being Leicester, they've got to get some results somewhere. So I definitely see chop and block coming fairly soon, but I'm not gonna say too soon. But if they don't get a win by mid-September, so that's about 3-4 more match days, no wins. he's out. And I think that's fair. That would have been about 8, that would have been 9 to 10 games on the year with no wins for Leicester. So I think that would be a fair time to give him the chopping block.
And it's time for him to go because that's going to be hard. And whenever they do get a new coach or whatever, it's going to be hard for that new coach to get Leicester out of regulations because they are last.
And what I
5
saw,
losses.
1 point.
Well, 1 point.
And what I saw was they're literally looking to sell their other center back right now. It's like you have nobody. You sold Fofana to Chelsea. You're about to sell starts with an S. Solchek, I think his name is something like that, to a team in Turkey. It's like you cannot keep giving your players away. You have nothing to give them in return. Like you have no center back. So why would you sell them right now? And so Leicester really needs to find it soon, or it's going to be a mess.
Back to championship.
Yeah. But moving on, Manchester United versus Arsenal. United won 3-1. Are United back?
Can I talk?
Yeah, this is your team.
What I would like to say is United is coming back.
Oh.
I won't say they fully there, but they are coming back. I'm almost butchering his name. Marcus Rashford is looking good. Sancho picking it up. Bruno starting to look like Bruno, making passes. Eriksen always been Eriksen to me. He's always been a good midfield player. It's just, I guess he's getting O's and stuff, so it's been like slouching a little bit. But overall, I'm going to keep saying this. This lineup we got is looking good. And then added Anthony, amazing. I was watching him play. He's fast, quick. He kind of like a little Neymar to me, want to be dribbler and want to be fancy and do skills. But other than that, quick, fast, reliable, like him. Hopefully he should start more. He's going to start more probably. But as for that to say, yeah, United's looking good, looking strong. They beat Arsenal 3-1. So hopefully we can continue our little run we got and hopefully make it to top 3.
Ollie, question for you. So has these 5 games of Arsenal winning in a row, is that a fluke or are United that big?
I think this is a mixture of United finding their footing, of these being 2 top teams that, again, this is one of those games where you really never know. Even if United was down in the dumps still and because their first game where we were like, okay, they might be back was against Liverpool. So like how is your first game where you might be back against the team last year that was dominating everybody? And again, so far Liverpool at that point weren't looking great, but it's still Liverpool and they were looking better than United were looking at that point, in my opinion. So
I'll match
it's I'm not gonna say by leaps and bounds, but they looked better, especially with more of the same there with not having a new coach. I think that also plays a good part into it. But
Liverpool was also favored to beat us because it was that team.
But yeah, granted. I mean, they have so many injuries, They have so many injuries and suspensions that day. So it's like, I would take that with a grain of salt as well, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't fully blame it on the injuries though, because Liverpool still had they lineup Salah, all of them, Diaz, Firmino. They still had those people that they usually have. Miller, Van Dijk. They still have that people. They just had a couple injuries. So I wouldn't fully blame it on injuries, but I'll give injuries 20-30%.
That's fair.
That's it?
Yes.
What I will say though is
they still have most of their starting lineups.
I understand that, but like at the same time, they don't have their heart of their defense. Thiago wasn't there, and I'm definitely gonna miss the rest of the team. And then like they didn't have their starting 11 that they would start against United. They didn't have that. I would give them 35.
They probably missed 2-3 key players.
Get out.
Probably 2. Mostly
brand
2.
New striker.
Thiago and that's probably it. Nunez.
No.
But they still had people.
I guess so.
They still had the same defenders. Still had the same midfield except for one. That was Thiago.
Oh, did not have.
And their striker was only Nunez, but he had a red card. But they still have Firmino, which is a good striker for them as well.
But listen, he has Firmino. Even though I said last week that Firmino is still that guy, he wasn't that guy. Like that. That's just not. No. Because let me explain something to you. Harry Elliott does not start for Liverpool. James Milner does not start for Liverpool, and Gomez does not start for Liverpool most of the times, and Firmino he would not have started. That's just for there's just not dysfunction, but it just wasn't the team that they would have started last week if they when they played Joe. But that's not important.
It's not, but it sounds like you're trying to take away on Man United beating Liverpool.
I'm not taking away from United. They won 2-1 because they dominated the game, but that wasn't a full strength Liverpool team.
Okay.
Simple.
Yeah.
One last thing on that one,
but
though,
we did beat two teams that
this
was powerhouses.
Okay.
Moving
That's
on.
all.
What
But go ahead,
more
I'll
thing
finish.
on this game, on the Arsenal versus United game? Honestly, this defensive line for Manchester looks really good. They kept Gabriel Jesus pretty quiet for a majority of the game. He looked very frustrated.
Varane was getting mad. Varane was pressuring that.
You have to, because
grabbing him.
He's a good number 9, but he is small. So if you get that defender who is willing to lean on him and make them uncomfortable, he's not going to do what Erling Haaland can do when a big man's leaning on him. Haaland doesn't care. Gabriel Jesus will be bothered by that. So that's definitely that definitely showed United's defense right now does look good. And also when they made that triple sub, I think that was a huge mistake. It was a lot of their more important players, in my opinion. Zinchenko, that one was a big one to substitute at that time. And then the other two, I don't know what it was. It's just they just didn't look good after that. It really went downhill. And I mean, Rashford scored literally the next minute on that. I think it was a through ball or something like that. Yeah. But it was like right after that, it just went downhill. And even after that goal, Arsenal started to pressure a little bit, I believe, at the very end. But I mean, you're up 2 goals. You don't really. It is what it is. So
I don't mean no. We had Maguire in there. He bad luck now.
Yeah, and he got
he was already getting me irritated. He was getting
a yellow card like 3 minutes into his
already. Exactly. He just came in and got a yellow,
and he had to take it, but he put himself in that bad situation. He did have to take it because that was going to be a goal. Y'all about to get scored on,
and of course, it was going to be on Maguire because the attacker ran past Maguire.
Yeah, so, and this really just all this game does is really make the manager's decisions so far make more sense.
Yeah.
Ronaldo didn't look good when he came in. If we're all being honest, he had a few touches, no shots on target, not many good passes. It's just he's not in form or not clicking. I don't know. He don't look good right
like
now.
I was saying last podcast. Like I was saying last podcast that you was kind of on Ronaldo's side, and I was telling you, like, Ronaldo hasn't been playing good. Yeah. So, therefore, I'm not even mad that he's on the bench because you're not performing and you're not contributing and, like, pretty much helping out more to make us look being that team. And then also, I do want to say, you did say something else that I wanted to point out. With the subs, with Arsenal too, but
made 3 at one time.
Yeah, but pretty much that's all I could say. Really, with Ronaldo is he's just not playing well, so therefore he doesn't need to play until he clicks or whenever he starts. Because I'm pretty sure he's going to start some game, and if he shows that he can start playing more, then we'll probably start playing him more. But till then, he's going to be on that bench and come in like the 60th, 70th, 80th minute.
My point last week was more so to say that this is a waste for everybody, fans and this team and possible teams to get him. It had nothing to do necessarily with the coach's decision because right now, as I just said, he is making what looks to be the right decisions with Ronaldo and Maguire. So I don't fault him, nor do I think that this is a bad choice right now. But for football, it just sucks. Even if you hate Ronaldo, I love watching him play. Just watching him it's amazing. But also Casemiro, when he came in, I also think that it showed that he does need a little bit more time. Yes, he came in at the very, very end, but this is when everybody else is tired. Didn't really see too many great passes from him. He had a few touches here and there, but definitely want to see him obviously play more just so he can get acclimated. But I do believe that he is going to need a little bit of time. It's coming from overseas. It's real hard for some players to get in, even if they're world class. So he'll definitely figure it out, and him and the coach will or the manager will definitely start to click. And he'll start doing what the coach wants him to do. So in due time, but I do think he needs a little bit more time to maybe get in a little earlier halftime, a little after halftime, but good choices so far from him. So
I do want to add on to something, make Davion feel like he's always right. David De Gea. That's all I'm gonna say. I know a couple podcasts ago I was saying that he need to go. I know a couple podcasts I was saying he need to go. Maybe it was just those games, and it was still the defense at the time. We would still have Maguire and other people in. Now that we have a solid forward that's been pretty well the past 4 games, he's been pretty excellent, and he's been making good saves.
It is impossible to be a goalie when you don't trust the 4 in front of you.
That's
all
true.
I'll say.
That's true. So I guess the 4 we had was like Davion was saying, I guess the 4 we had, they didn't want to play defense. They looked like they didn't care at all. And it wasn't helping him.
That game against Brentford showed you that Harry Maguire and that 4 back line was not going to work. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Now they're arguably some of the best in the Premier League right now. But moving out of that, and we're going to predict next week's game.
Oh, one last thing, real quick.
Yeah,
Davion, you don't got nothing to say? Oh, well, Davion, you don't got nothing to say about the game?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I was away.
You don't have to watch it, but you can say a little something.
I have nothing to say.
Congratulate Man United. You can.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm still can't wait till Man United play Chelsea because
back to Ollie.
Y'all lost to Southampton and we beat them. And you said y'all was the best team. So
let's start pointing out how he's saying we again with.
Yeah. When at the beginning of the season, he wasn't even talking about United. What happened to this Arsenal bandwagon?
I still was talking about United, but I was saying United was bad. I still was talking about United, so don't even do it.
You know what? I'm
don't even do it.
I'm gonna take my time this week, maybe at 1.5 times.
You can find clips, and I always gave
I'm
United
gonna
my
edit.
I still say United was my team.
I'm gonna edit all of the podcasts.
You're not like me. You're not like me.
From week 1 to now, and we're gonna show you the progression of how much you jumped.
You can't find clips.
Not, huh? What'd you say?
You can't find clips on me because you're not like me.
What do you mean I can't find clips? They're
I can
everywhere.
find clips on you because you always forget what you say, but I always remember what I say. But go ahead, you can do that.
Ollie, let's be frank.
You can do that.
Did he or did he not?
Man, week 1 you said Arsenal's my team.
But what did I say? I said Arsenal. I said Arsenal is going to be my new team, but I still support Man United.
No, you did not. You did not.
I still say United's my
on
team.
Your face when United won.
I still say United my team.
Whatever.
Anyway, we'll find the clips.
Find the clip. Find the clip. We'll go ahead and finish.
We're moving on. I do not like how VAR is being used right now. It's just it doesn't make sense and it's stupid. Because
I'm glad you mentioned it.
And I'm only mentioning this because I saw it in my game against my team. So let me do say that this was a play against City that could have gotten us scored on, and we possibly could have lost that game. But there was a play where a player was in an offside position, or he went into an offside position during the pass and then came back on sides, the flag raised instantly. And that play was very 50-50 because we didn't even know if one of the players touched it, causing the player to be offsides, or if nobody touched it and it would have been a good play. I just feel like the line judges are not on the same page of when we need to play advantage or play on until something happens and when we need to stop, because it makes no sense. There have been a lot of situations where I'm like, why did he stop it there? This is a good opportunity to let this play out. There's not many players in the way. No one can really get hurt here, and they blow the whistle. But we've seen multiple occasions in these short 6 weeks of multiple players getting in scary situations because they don't blow the whistle in obvious situations. So I just feel like they need to take a step back and look at and talk to each and every line judge and say, this is what we're doing. And this is to protect the players and make sure the game keeps its integrity and still makes sense. Because right now, the times they check VAR makes no sense. That's all I got to say.
And not to bash refs or anything, but refs need to do a better job on paying attention on what's obvious fouls and what's not a foul that you could keep playing on, because it's getting ridiculous that they have to, like you said, like it take them to another team to score that goal just for them to finally look at VAR to see what happened. Like, it's taking much time. Like, lately I've been seeing that on a lot of games, that a lot of games been taking a lot of time due to VAR because refs are not paying attention, are not doing their job. granted, I know it's hard being a ref in soccer because you all over the field and there's too many players. You really can't see that much. But certain stuff are obvious. Like you said with your team, I'm going to talk about the Man United. With before Martinelli got that goal, Eriksen had the ball and it was a clear foul that Odegaard pushed him and blocked his foot and just pushed him hard. And for him to just play it on and almost gave Martinelli that goal to make it be 1-0 Arsenal it just irked me so bad. And it's like we couldn't get back on defense because we thought it was a foul. We all just felt like, you gonna call it, but no, he didn't call it. Some play on, like no, like it was obviously a clear foul.
Well, even with that one, I'm still, I still don't know how I feel about it because at halftime there were 3 retired players from the Premier League that all said that it wasn't a foul, and I don't know because it looked like there was a clear push. He clearly made contact with the leg and thigh, and he never touched the ball. So I don't understand how in soccer that's not a foul. And when you don't call that, this is why players flop and make a scene. And I don't like either, but it's like, if you call it right, or at least get the call right when you look at VAR, I don't know. That play should have never even been continued because I thought it was very obvious. And the ref had clear line of sight. So, but yeah, so they need to figure it out, essentially. Like all together, collectively, all leagues that use VAR, because I know it's not just a problem in Prem, it's just the only league that I watch that uses it this much. They need to get together and really talk about what's going to be called right away and what's going to be let played, because it depends on the game you watch. And that's the most frustrating thing in sports, are these rules that can be solidified but aren't.
And the problem is like hearing all that, it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Due to being a Chelsea fan, we know you know.
Not even the point of like even things like against Chelsea, like it's so inconsistent. There's no set in stone rules. Like, hey, all these things happen. 10 times out of 10, this should be the foul. Plain and simple. But it's so inconsistent. I'm so over it. It's like VAR. Like, is it better if it's gone?
It's just literally. Like I don't really see a difference. Now we just have different problems that are more annoying.
Like you said, Ollie, on your point, the linemen are so bad. They're so bad. Like, it's just annoying. Like, it's just so annoying watching the game.
And they can use VAR. VAR is here to help them correct their mistakes.
And the thing
they're blowing the whistle early for what?
And with that point, like, they can use VAR, but like some of those referees who will wave it off or they're like, I don't think it's a foul, still go to VAR.
Mm-hmm. You can at least tell them to check it.
You can always overturn it if you're wrong.
Exactly.
Don't sit here and cost points for teams because of your ego. What?
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what the refs be. They feel like they don't need a VAR, and yes, you do. That's what it's there to help you out, to know what you miss. You're not going to see everything. Like I said, granted, you're not going to see everything because there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of people on the field, but that's what it's for, to help you out so you can know what happened, so you can overturn. And like you said, it's always their ego. They feel like, no, I'm the ref, so I don't gotta pay attention onto what happened. I saw what I saw and I'm agree with it. Like, no, you mess up teams like that. And with Ollie, with the VAR, yes, VAR is used because it was used in La Liga, but you don't see it that much as Premier League. Premier League, you see it every game.
More than one time a game.
VAR is being used.
More than one time a game.
So it's like, yeah.
And just so everybody knows, Davion is very adamant about this because he's also Saints fan.
Yeah, we know.
So between Chelsea and the Saints, he gets screwed over a lot.
He feel like the refs, everything.
And it's valid. It's valid frustration because we all know what happens to the Saints.
Refs do not like his teams at all.
Saints, Chelsea.
What other teams?
Referees don't like them at all. They hate us. They hate it. Plain and simple.
Let's get to these predictions.
Let's get these predictions before I get mad. You see my blood already boiling. First up on the weekend at 7:30. I don't know if I'll make it this game. Chelsea versus Fulham.
Hopefully you wake up to a dub.
I doubt it.
I'm sticking with Chelsea, but I'll probably see like another close one with West Ham 2-1.
I say 2-1 Chelsea. If we wake up and play like we want to play, then I think Chelsea can win this game. But if we come in there acting like we're going to beat Fulham easily, we're going to lose.
I did see that y'all was going to start that new striker that y'all got.
Good. He should be
The
starting.
other striker. What's his name? Ameno Bajo?
Yeah,
Or
we just signed
something like that.
Davion.
Baja. So what about Aubameyang? Y'all not gonna start him either? Y'all don't think y'all gonna play him?
No, he'll play. I generally just forgot about him.
Do you like Aubameyang? Do you think he might match up with Sterling and him because they both fast?
Him and Tuchel and Pulisic all play together. Tuchel and another two, they were at Dortmund together. So hopefully he knows how to, and he was very good at Dortmund with Tuchel. So hopefully they know how to get something out of him this season as well.
I mean, if the choice is between Aubameyang and Sterling, I'm putting Sterling on the bench and starting Aubameyang.
No. Sterling wouldn't start striker. He'll move to the
he'll move to left wing.
Yeah, like he did at City. He would not be a striker. He shouldn't play striker for us, to be real.
He's not even a striker.
Shouldn't be a striker, period.
He's not even good at a striker position.
He's not even good at winger. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure you know that you haven't picked it yet.
I'll give it to Chelsea. Chelsea 2-1 sounds good.
Okay.
Bournemouth and Brighton.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Bournemouth just had to get their dubs, but they're not getting against Brighton. They just
I
not.
think Brighton as well.
Brighton's on a roll.
Southampton and Brentford. This is gonna be a great game.
Ooh, that is tough.
I have Brentford.
Yeah, I got Brentford.
Brentford too.
2-1.
I actually want to see if I can watch this game. This might be the 10 o'clock game I watch. My game starts at 12:30.
I ain't watching none of them games. I'm probably gonna watch the Man City and Tottenham.
No, you're right. I might watch that game too, Ollie.
Out of these, that would be the most interesting. Brighton and Bournemouth might be interesting too.
Yeah, because Brighton is such a good team, fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Liverpool versus Wolves.
Liverpool, hopefully.
Yeah, they got to.
They have to.
They got to win this.
They're gonna wake up. They're struggling, but I have Liverpool as well. Leicester versus Aston Villa.
I just want Leicester to win at least one game.
You ain't winning this. It ain't gonna be this one.
You got to lose to Villa too.
Yes, City just tied with Villa.
Yeah, but I guess they showed up though.
I'm not saying Villa gonna win. I'm saying a draw.
I got a win for Aston Villa, 6 in a row.
I got Villa or draw, but Leicester's not winning, and either way, that still goes one to the good of that manager getting sacked. So I have it going in that direction of either Aston Villa winning or a draw.
Yeah. City Spurs.
This game I watch. Oh, I might watch Chelsea Fulham too, but this game I'm definitely watching. And I'm going to go for City.
Ollie?
Oh, you thought I was going to say Tottenham?
Yeah, I could see this one being a draw. They I don't know. Obviously I have us winning. I don't know if I'll ever actually say we're not going to win unless it's Arsenal or Liverpool on certain days. But
United.
Nah, I have us winning that. But
I can't wait. You want to put money on it?
Anyways, we'll talk about that we'll talk about that when it comes closer. But I have Man City winning this by maybe a goal. I don't know. We'll see. I was winning though.
I have Manchester City as well. Arsenal.
Wait. Bias or serious? Because you don't like Tottenham.
I don't like. We know I don't like Spurs, but seriously, I have City winning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Arsenal versus Everton, another derby.
I got Everton.
Now, if Arsenal lose to Everton, this proves that they lose streak they had was a fluke. But if Arsenal win, that still gives them a chance on showing that they still that team. But I'm going to go with a draw or Arsenal.
I have Arsenal winning this game.
I have draw or Everton.
West Ham versus Newcastle.
West Ham. They did play good against y'all. It's just y'all was the better team, obviously. But I'll say a draw. Never mind. I was gonna say West Ham, but I'll see a draw.
I have Newcastle.
I really don't know. I would love to say Newcastle will have a lot of possession, but I really don't think so. I think this would be fairly even on possession. So I'll go with Newcastle just because they've been getting better results. But I don't know if they've really been getting better results. They just haven't really been losing except to Liverpool. I don't know. This could go either way. I'll go West Ham. I'm gonna go West Ham. I'll go West Ham.
See,
See y'all
it's
next-
hard.
See y'all
This
next.
one could go either way.
It could go either way.
Newcastle's gonna win this game.
I got West Ham.
Like 2-0. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United.
United.
Is that biased?
Sounds
No,
good.
that's not actually being biased. We just the
What
better
the-
team. We've been looking pretty good. We informed, so Man United.
After 2 wins, you're in form?
4.
4, excuse me.
Yeah, excuse yourself. We not like y'all. We've been winning 4 games, and we beat 2 best teams out of those.
We're literally 2 points behind y'all. Relax.
So, you heard what you said. Keyword behind.
We're 6 weeks in.
United. Go
We're
ahead,
6
Ollie.
weeks in.
Go ahead, Ollie, Davion.
And y'all are how many points behind us? So y'all 2 points behind us. So we're the better team, right?
Yeah, y'all the better team. We know y'all the better team. That's not even a doubt. But Chelsea. Okay.
That's fair.
I have Crystal Palace winning this game.
Bias. Go
No,
ahead.
they literally just had how many shots did they just have this last game?
And who did they play?
I don't remember.
All right then. Like, come on now. What are you talking about? They playing United. They played Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah. I think they'll beat.
We're not Newcastle.
We'll see what happens next week. And then Leeds,
Yeah,
Nottingham
biased.
Forest. Leeds,
Ollie.
Leeds, Nottingham.
Ollie didn't say a team.
Oh,
So don't even skip.
I mean, I never want United to win.
You wanted us to win last game.
Well, yeah, that's because it was against the team that's beating us. Like, of course I want you to win. Like, what? I was rooting for you guys for the sole purpose of Arsenal losing. Let's make that clear, okay? Which both are your teams, so you guys is a very blanket statement, I guess. Anyways, I'm gonna give this one to realistically United, but I want to draw here.
yeah, probably. Leeds, Nottingham Forest.
Leeds.
You know what? I'm sick of both of y'all. I'm gonna have to change some couple votes. Fulham's being Chelsea and Tottenham's being City. I'm done. Anyways, I got Leeds.
I said y'all will most likely win, but it might be a draw. That's
No, the draw killed it. Anyways, I got Leeds.
watch this be a close game.
I wouldn't doubt it. No one
Watch
does.
Crystal Palace score in the first 10 minutes.
Hilarious. Crystal Palace scored the first 10 minutes. He's gonna
That
lose.
would be hilarious.
He's gonna lose it.
Oh man.
Anyway, yeah, that's Leeds, Nottingham Forest. Did y'all say y'all's Leeds?
Yes.
Leeds.
Leeds.
All right. Well, this has been another great episode of the post game. Elijah, Ollie, thank y'all for joining. This has been another week of the Premier League. If you ever have any comments, leave them in the bottom. Elijah, what should they do?
Like, comment, subscribe, and if you comment, say Chelsea and City suck.
Oh, okay. Well, this has been another episode of the post game. Peace.